I told the Bunny Years podcast.
Okay.
So next up is the roast of Bruce Pritchard. Unfortunately, I can't find the host. We had a host, and I don't know where the hell that is, and I've been looking for it for 2 days.
And it's not Eric Bischoff?
No, it's because the roasters are Jeff Jarrett, Sean Woolman.
It should have been Vince Russo.
Good. Who should it have been? Dave, your thing?
No, I was saying it should have been Vince Russo hosting that roast.
Vince Russo was banned from All In, actually. Well, the Bucks and Cody banned him from All In because he was being an asshole. So they banned him from the weekend.
I think Tony Schiavone should be the host.
Well, they have an actual comedian as the host. I just can't find where it's written down.
Jeff Ross?
I think that sounds right. But the roasters are Jeff Jarrett, Sean Waltman, Eric Bischoff.
Because he is the host. He is the...
Ron Francis and Taylor Williamson. Those are the roasters. You're right. He is the host of Roast Battle. That does ring a bell. That rings a bell. So that might just be who the host of this is. Again, they mentioned it on Something to Wrestle With, and I don't remember what they said.
Well, this ought to be good. The alcohol should be flowing pretty good. And,
I love a good roast. I'm not going to lie.
And I'm sure there's going to be some good stories coming out of this that probably shouldn't be talked about, but will be.
I do love a good roast, though, right?
I love a good roast. I definitely love a good roast.
Yeah, usually
I have a story. I have a story off air about a roast that I took part in.
Okay, well, definitely hear that off air. I'd love to hear that off air.
I like a roast too. Usually about medium heat and about 375
with the side of potatoes and carrots.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe some onions left in, little rub on the roast.
Okay, let's get on. At the same time as the roast, if roasts aren't your style, which I don't know what's wrong with you, the Raven Effect's doing a live podcast at 8 o'clock as well.
Raven as in
yes. At 10 o'clock, this is ridiculous. I didn't notice the thing until I looked up this panel. It is the Stranglemania with the Insane Clown Posse.
Wait a minute, they're still alive?
Apparently, they're still a thing.
Okay.
And then, if the alcohol didn't spill enough at the roast.
Okay. Here we go.
Bruce Pritchard and Jeff Jarrett are hosting, and I quote this right off the Starrcast website at 11 o'clock Chicago time.
Yes.
It's called the Spend My Days karaoke session.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
Jeff.
No.
Is Jeff Jarrett gonna say she's gonna sing "Ain't I Great"? Right?
I cannot believe this is actually a thing.
Ain't I Great?
On the schedule.
Double G.
They're gonna be so fucking drunk by the time this comes up too.
J-E double up. What? Who? What?
Jerry can't be drunk. He was just in rehab.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I keep getting distracted by SmackDown. King Booker just came out on SmackDown. What is going on? What is happening on SmackDown tonight?
They're pulling out of the stock.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I'm totally distracted by SmackDown.
I don't know.
Anyway, what's going on this Saturday before All In?
Yeah.
We have a DDP yoga workshop going on in the morning.
Hey, no joke.
That's
DDP
good.
does work.
So that's good. That's at 8:30 live on Fight TV, so you can warm up in the morning with DDP yoga.
I can't believe how limber this man is, and for the age. And I tell you, he's in great shape. And this all through DDP yoga, and he's had other wrestlers do the program, and they have made tremendous recoveries from what they are and able to walk without assistance. So kudos to DDP yoga.
It's scary. I may actually have to look into DDP yoga one of these days. That might actually help. And then at 9 a.m., here's another panel I think you'd be interested in.
Go ahead.
Remembering Andy Kaufman.
No, actually, there's someone else up the alley that would be better for it.
Hang on a second. Let me read who's actually doing the panel.
Okay, go ahead.
It's being hosted by Bill Apter with guests Jerry Lawler and Dutch Mantel.
Oh, my Lord. Dirty Dutch Mantel.
That's the panel.
Okay.
I wonder if we'll get a We the People chant before that panel begins.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
So, that's that. At 10 a.m., we have another live podcast called Post Wrestling. They're just pulling these podcasts. We couldn't get in the fucking All In, but they got these random pots and cockers I've never heard of. We couldn't get in the All In, but there you go. We have this is a cool one. This is a cool one. At 11 a.m., it's the 1, 2, 3, 60 Degrees, which is a podcast of the NWO with Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Sean Waltman.
Too sweet.
So that's that. Also at 11:30, we have the Death of WCW panel with Artie Reynolds, the book. He wrote a book about WCW. Kevin Sullivan, Eric Bischoff, and J.J. Dillon.
Wow.
Dave, any thoughts on those two panels?
They should. I don't know if I can make that comment, but yeah, it'll be interesting. There'll be other wrestlers that you should get involved there too, but that's besides the point.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
That's fair. That's fair.
My thing is what type of Kevin Sullivan are you going to get? The coherent or incoherent?
Is that going to be Tyler Sullivan's father or whatever
Incoherent.
that is in BCW?
No, but I mean, I've talked with Kevin Sullivan, and I'm telling you,
he also scared an old man to show where we're at.
I'm telling you, it's like he's in another realm, and you're trying to get him back to more present day things, and it's not happening.
So, and now a show I'm looking forward to. It's the Primetime Wrestling Live show with Sean Mooney. But that's not the important part of this. It's his guest.
And pray tell, who are the guests?
No, one guest. First podcast appearance since he did the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast one time.
Okay.
And the first appearance he's made since leaving WWE. It's called Behind the Scenes with Jim Johnson.
Oh, Mr. Music Man for WWE.
Yes. That's happening at 1 p.m. on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that a lot.
I'd like to get some insight on how he's able to create these pieces as far as...
He was on the Stone Cold podcast a couple of years ago. That was a really good interview. I'm intrigued by that. Without the handcuffs of WWE on anymore.
Because my thing is, from what I understand is, before he came up with the music, he basically saw how the wrestler was entering in and developed some music for entrance music and went from there. So,
Dave, are you as excited for this panel as I am? I know I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. I've always enjoyed Sean Mooney. I never heard his podcast, though. I always enjoyed him. It'll be interesting, though. All these panels, with the exception of the podcasts that neither of us heard of, they're all very interesting. They have their own story. And, you know, an incredible effort by Cody and the Bucks to make All In as interactive of an experience as they're making it. Very much replicating WrestleMania without it being WrestleMania. Like, again, I bring it back to it's a big event feel. Between the show itself and everything surrounding it, they're doing a great job. But, everything is something to look forward to.
Let me just finish this up then. For All In itself, they're doing an official viewing party for those who did not get into the building, and you're at Starrcast. You can watch All In with the Hurricane.
There's a hurricane a-coming.
And then they're doing a big after party at 11 p.m. right afterwards at the Starrcast venue. Real quick on Sunday, there will be events on Sunday. In a row, I'll just bang these out real fast. First, we'll start with Breakfast with the Bang at the podcast recording. We have Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling, which is another podcast recording. Never heard of it. We have Bunny Years podcast with Macaulay Culkin and Matt Cohen. Special guest Cody coming off his NWE Championship match.
Well, there you go.
So that's a big deal. We have the Art of Wrestling live, Cole Cabana show. We have story time with the Young Bucks as they read us their children's book. I'm not joking. That's going to be a thing.
Wait, the Young Bucks have a children's book?
Yes, they do.
Oh, good for them.
Yes. Ringside with JR. James Ross is doing a live show. That's pretty cool. This is the last minute edition. Last minute ad. The Lobs Fan podcast at 2:30. Wyatt Ended live with Robbie E as the host and Matt Kuhn as the co-host. Their guests, Glacier and Buff Bagwell.
Wait, whoa, Glacier?
Glacier.
Guest
on how it ended on Sunday.
And Buff, I'm too big for my britches, Bagwell?
Yes.
Oh.
So that's that. That is Starrcast. I'm excited for Starrcast. And now, let's get into the main event of this weekend.
Do you think you're on top? Well, I'm not where you left me. I've been picking up steam and I pick myself up. I'm stronger this time, ready to defy. And no matter what you do, I'm never gonna stop. Are you sure that you want it?
All In is on Saturday, which is insane. It's happening It starts at 5 p.m. The main show starts at 6. Before we even get into this is Down Straight, All In. They actually do some WWE themes. Cody asked them to make him a new theme song for WWE for his independent run, which will be a closer of this show today.
Wow.
And then he went to them and said, "Can you make one for All In?" And they did this.
Holy cow.
They did this.
It's kind of like Devo on steroids.
I like this a lot. I like this song so much. So that's the theme song for All In. So very cool.
Okay.
All right, let's get into the show. First of all, we have 0 Hour, which is their pre-show, which will be live exclusively on WGN America, which is insane when you think about it.
For those of you that get WGN America on cable.
Yeah, apparently,
or satellite.
Apparently, it's a pretty big viewing audience on this one. They were talking about it on Ring of Honor.
Yes.
But here's the matches. We have the Briscoes taking on SoCal Uncensored, SCU, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky. What do you think of this matchup, Dave? First of all, I'll go to you.
What was the match again? Sorry.
SCU, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky versus the Briscoes.
That's on 0 Hour? Oh,
yeah.
My God.
That's on 0 Hour.
I mean, I guess you need a good match for WGN, but I say Briscoes. Get the crowd going, and, if that's indeed the opening match of the whole thing, yeah, you got to let them boys win.
Well, the Briscoes are the number one heel team in ROH right now, so that's interesting on that, I'm curious, SCU just turned face, didn't they? SCU just turned face?
Somewhat, yes.
So I'm intrigued. I think SCU might actually squeak this one out. What do you think, Dad?
I got to go with Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian.
SCU?
Yes, I got to go only because you're going to have that type of match and basically get all the adrenaline going, everyone pumped, everyone ready. So, yeah, this will be a match. It also could end up being double DQ because both these teams are basically going to give it their best. So,
well, I know SCU, Kazarian and Daniels are fighting the Briscoes for the tag team title at Death Before Dishonor.
Correct.
So that just got announced today.
Yes.
But this is not Kazarian and Daniels. No. I want to note that.
No.
All right, the other match is the over-budget Battle Royal, because Cody said they legitimately went over budget, and that's why he named this. Which I think it's hysterical. We have Jordan Grace, we have Moose, we have Rocky Romero, Colt Cabana, Ethan Page, Brian Cage, Billy Gunn, Jimmy Jacobs, Marco Stunt, Brandon Cutler, and more that they have not named yet. And I'm going to go with a long shot pick because this is going to make absolutely no sense to anybody that does not follow BTE. But I'm going to go Flip Gordon, winning over budget Battle Royal.
I'm going to go with Brian Cage, the Machine.
Okay, by the way, I forgot to note, the winner of this faces Jay Lethal on the main show for the Ring of Honor Championship. Sorry,
there you go.
I forgot that. That's important.
There you go.
Information.
So, yeah, I'm sticking with my pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go Flip Gordon. Dave, what do you think?
I'll go with, even though I don't have the full list, I can't get this file up for whatever reason, but I'll go with Brian Cage too, only for the sheer reason of that Impact and Ring of Honor are going to be wrestling against each other at the Jericho Cruise coming up, and there's a working relationship there already. So, and Brian Cage, amazing athlete. I was just watching what was it, the AAA show this past weekend.
How was that show, by the way?
He was wrestling in the 4-way.
How was that show?
It was okay.
Okay.
But I would like to see Brian Cage versus Jay Lethal. That would be an incredible match.
Fair enough.
Well, here's the thing with Brian Cage. If you go to Lucha and he had the match with Pentagon Dark, I'm telling you, both these guys gave it their all, and he did their finishers at least 3 times. So I'm looking for good things from Brian Cage.
We've also talked about that match that we started House of Hardcore, the impromptu match between Cage and
the Mac.
Yeah. Which was unexpected, not scheduled, and ended up being one of the match of the night. So,
I mean, when you see him in person, I mean, on TV he looks jacked. When you see him in person, he's even more jacked.
But yeah, And on the record, the reason I go to Flip Gordon is because he's not booked on the show, and it will piss off Cody. That's the storyline reasons. That's why
Maybe it would
Flip.
piss off Bully Ray.
No, it's storyline. Cody did not have him on the show. Are you paying attention at all? But
Yes.
When I tell you things about this show,
Yes.
Cody.